I'm going to say what I want anyway. So I had a bit of a cold, so I'm paying for it now. And I said, you limp off, you little bitch.
Yeah, right.
As loud as I could.
How'd that go down?
Well, people around me laughed.
Yeah. Jesus.
You little bitch is what. So and I said, limp off to the dump and get some bandages.
Good God, this is the one.
I know.
And I guess the third defender that we couldn't stop and couldn't help ourselves kicking to was a young Turner as well. So so I don't know. I don't know. And now I've come to the realization, being facetious, telling me that you knew the plan. We know this going in. Melbourne zone out really well in defence, and we couldn't help ourselves but just aimlessly keep kicking it into that sort of 20 to 35 metre space out from goal, where we never had a single crow in that area. It appeared like we were trying to play in behind them, but then if you're trying to play in behind them, the object of the game is that you kick the ball an extra 15, 20 metres so you can get the ball over. And I'm going to say it, there was one moment of play, and now Dan Kern didn't have an amazing game, but he did three awesome things. And to be honest, the first awesome thing he did was probably what kick-started us in the second quarter. So I don't know if you saw it, but he's kind of spoiled the ball, picked it up and just galloped off. Now, I mean, it was Lever that was chasing him, but he made Curtin look like he was lightning fast. And he's delivered this awesome kick over the top into space, and Isaac leaned back into it and took the mark. And that moment there is what kick-started that second quarter for us. And it turned the game on its head. So you talk about moments, Michael. If the Michael's moments was a thing, that would have been it. That would have been it. That was the perfect Michael's moment.
It was. But you're wrong.
Oh, okay.
You're wrong. The moment it all went good again was when I walked back in.
Sorry, I forgot this.
So
all about you.
His own moment.
Right. So it was all about you, was it, mate? Nothing to do with.
Well, let's be honest. I left and I went to shits, and I come back and it stopped.
I don't know. I feel like it was shit before you left.
It was bad.
It was bad.
But when I left, it did go to shit.
But then we flicked that switch, mate.
Yes.
We flicked that switch, and the third quarter was excellent.
That's very good.
We delivered 5 goals, and we stamped our authority on the game, I felt. But while we're on it, you've got some hand signals going here, and how's your brain thinking?
No, it's because you've just got my head thinking.
Yeah.
And I want to come back to it later. Because I want to talk about some goal kicking and some goal reviewing.
Yeah.
There was a goal that I've messaged you that it was a goal that they didn't even review. I can't remember if it was the second, because it was down that end. So it had to be in the...
For us or them?
For us.
A goal for us.
No, but it was called a point.
Oh, was that when... Was one of the filthies, or it kind of almost went over the post?
Yeah.
And from our angle, it looked like...
From my angle,
it looked like it was a goal.
It was a goal.
Yeah, because it arced, like it curves through the... yes, I know exactly the goal you're
talking about.
It was a goal. And from our angle, it definitely looked like a goal.
It was definitely a goal.
So, but again, we don't have those laser beams atop the goalpost that tells us whether or not the football went above the post. So, but I guess from that point on, then it was more like it was just an arm wrestle. It was an arm wrestle, and I didn't feel like Melbourne were ever in a position that they were going to take it from us. They tried, and they failed.
Yes, they did. Clearly, essentially, that's what it was.
Yeah.
It would have almost been the perfect game if it hadn't been for Mr. Rochelle.
So I've got some stats here, and I don't do stats.
We don't do stats.
I don't do stats, but I've got some stats here for you. So this is the marks. Now I don't know if you look at the fantasy points anymore, Michael, but it was pretty crazy. So the top 6 players are basically Melbourne, and then I think it was like maybe Dawson, can't remember, or maybe Isaac, can't remember. And then it's like another 3 Melbourne players, and there was a Dawson, and so it was like the vast majority of it was all Melbourne. Now the top mark getters now. So Turner, number 10, the young fella, had 16 marks. Stephen May had 12. Jake Lever had 10. Christian Salem had 10. All defenders from Melbourne. And I mean, they do a bit of the chippy, they'll take a mark and they kick it around for themselves as well. I don't have the stat of intercept marks, but a vast majority, there'd be a good percentage of those would have been intercept marks where we have just bombed it in and it's gone straight to one of them.
Well, it would have been a world record pace for a while there. Terrible.
I don't understand like what's going on in the coach's box when this is happening, because this is not a new thing. This is not a new thing when playing Melbourne. And there's certain players that we like that we love to kick to, Tom Stewart being one. There's certain players that we just love to pick out. And this week, it's Lever and May. Like they're good at what they do, but at what point do you need to sit back and go, we need to change something here? I don't get it.
I don't know.
I don't get it.
But they did. They essentially they flicked the switch.
They did know that changed how we attacked, and we managed to sort of, but that continued sort of throughout the game still. It was peppered throughout the game, but it was super evident early on, but it still continued to sort of happen, but to a lesser extent, I agree. So, a couple of things that I need to bring up. So, let's just start with Rankine finally had his day out. We've been talking about it, and you more than anyone, Michael, has been calling for like, when is this going to happen? When is he going to step up? And I'm going to say that Isaac kind of off his own back was the one that turned this around for us. And I'm also going to say that he was shitting himself. He didn't want to kick the goals.
No.
And if you look to Tex, he just stood there and he was pretty assertive. He had the big arm up pointing, you have a shot and back yourself in. Back himself in, he did, and he ended up kicking 5, I think, off the top of my head.
5 straight, I think.
So he was the one that stood up when we needed someone to hit the scoreboard. He looked nervous. Like I said, Tex kept guiding him, and he had great impact on the scoreboard this week. We've been asking for it, Michael. My question to you is, mate, are you satisfied with what you saw?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Very good question. I'm going to say, how do you say 50-50?
Was he Cozzy?
Cozzy. It was okay. It was okay.
He's kicked a bag.
He has kicked a bag, but it wasn't. It's not the big pressure game. I'm wanting him to do it though, and I'm not saying it needs to be a bag in a big pressure game.
Yeah.
But I need him to step up this week against doggies.
Oh, sure.
I need him to step up against
like a Pies.
Well, actually, Gold Coast, because he's historically shit against Gold Coast, which I'm quite looking forward to that game.
Yeah, that is the grudge match I'm looking forward to.
I need to see him step up against Collingwood. I need to see these are the big moment games.
Yep.
He's shown he can do it against Port Adelaide.
Yep.
But he did it in a 90-second block.
Yep.
Out of 120 minutes.
Yeah, I understand.
So doing it against Melbourne, and they've been poor. I don't know. Since it feels like I'm kind of degrading down what he done now.
Yeah, you're kind of talking yourself out of this.
I am. You know what? No.
I was stoked with what he did.
No, it wasn't. I want more.
Oh my God.
I want more.
All right, you hear that, Isaac? Michael wants more.
You know what, Mike? You can do it on the last Saturday of September, my friend. Because I think I've got a feeling. Yeah, I think he's got to enjoy playing some big games in finals.
Funny, when we hit the Twitterverse, it might come up again. The other thing I want to say too, now, Darcy Fogarty had a different game.
He's had a different 6 weeks.
He has, but he had a good game on the weekend. Initially, he wasn't really hitting the scoreboard. I think he was one of the ones that hit kicked a behind in that first quarter run. Where one of those ones he should have kicked.
In front.
It was one of those ones he would normally have kicked.
Degree,
He's still a beautiful kick for goal. Like he turned it round. But here's my thing to you: is he the next Tex Walker? Because honestly, when you watch him kicking, like his field kicking, can you tell me whether he's a left or a right footer? He is brilliant on both sides of his body, and for a key forward, like then I'm talking sort of, and I'm gonna. This is sort of what's the word I want. I'm big up on him here, but it's almost like Sam Mitchell. Honestly, he turns around on the left or on the right. You can't tell what his dominant side is. He's that good. He's that good, and he is. And Tex Walker is exactly the same. He'll swing around on his left, over swinging around on his right. And Fogarty's at that level, man. Honestly, I think I've gone again. I don't do stats off the top of my head. I have the numbers 5-3-2 in my head, and I reckon that's the number of meters gained that he had. So as a key forward, that's pretty impressive in my opinion.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Like I said, it was a different game from him this week.
It was a different game from everyone.
It was.
Now, just picture it.
Oh, okay.
Just picture it.
Yep.
Eventually,
Yeah.
and it hasn't happened yet, I don't think, our forward line is going to click
Oh, okay. Yeah.
all at once. And if it only happens in one game,
Yeah.
well, yeah. Thank you. Okay, cool. Next,
Oh, sorry. Did I steal your thunder?
yes, you did. And if it only happens in one game, and it's the GF, hold me. Hold me.
Well, it's funny because obviously Phil Thorpe was well beaten on the weekend. Stephen May had his measure pretty well. I don't feel like we probably helped Phil Thorpe with the way because our forward 50 entries, everyone was hammering them about for a lot of the game. So it was frustrating the way we bring the ball in. So it wasn't his best game.
That's okay because someone else had the best defender.
Who did?
So it allowed Rankine and Tex and Falk to do what needed to be done.
Yeah. Now the next thing I want to bring up, now Benny Keys again, gotta love him. His goal. You know the one I'm talking about?
That wasn't a goal.
That was the AFL's now come out and said it wasn't a goal. So here's the thing, right? I love how the media is painting Keys' goal as like some evener, as an evener. Oh, you got one back, Keysy. For the catastrophe, for the blatant goal cheating in that final game that cost us a finals berth. You were freaking dreaming, AFL media. It does not even come close to being an evener. That is not even in the same ballpark, Michael. Now, P.S. Actual question. Was it a point? Because in all the footage I've seen, I can't see a clear snick. I can't see a clear touch on the ball, and they're saying that it was McVie that did it. So he was the one that was hanging on to the goalpost. But I have seen clear footage just to see that it's definitely been touched and deflected. So have you seen?
No.
So what is the AFL saying? Because they've come out and they've contacted both clubs and blah blah blah. And they're all pretending like it was the moment that changed the game for Melbourne. Like it didn't.
It didn't.
Like it was seriously
at that
point we were 15 points up. So point or goal, we go 16 points up or we go 21 points up. So like let's all not pretend that it was like a massive event that's just changed the course of the Melbourne Football Club's season. It was not a finals defining moment in this game. So can we? And this is the stuff the point I was making maybe a week or so ago about the discourse.
Embrace the hate.
Embrace the hate. Absolutely, embrace the hate because it's okay. At least
You still got some stuff?
No, not so much about the gameplay. No.
Okay,
Go for it, buddy.
You done?
Sure, man. I'll stop.
Okay. Mr. Saxman
Yes,
is getting very closer to that old scoreboard.
he is.
I know it's going to happen. He told us they can't do it,
Yeah.
but it's going to happen. It'll happen for either Collingwood being the last game. It'll happen for the showdown, or heaven forbid, if it happens
Like in a prelim or
in
something.
chills.
Shout out to Christian too, because I got a message before it all started saying Saxman Northern End above the Hilux. Picked him out. Like I just couldn't believe it. So that was a pretty good get, Christian. Well done, mate.
Well done. So if you had respond to that message, I sent you a message. Come with me.
Yeah,
you didn't respond.
I did. No, that was half time.
It was.
That was half time.
It was half time.
I was busy taking care of my nephew at that moment, and so I didn't feel my phone vibrate until I was brought back in my seat. So, but I just did the photo. It was good to see that.
I went to see the great man.
Yes. I will get there, Matty. I will come and catch her. So I tried to catch him the previous home game, but it didn't work out. Now, Jadex put out posed a question, I suppose, and he said, "Is Peatling the barometer of the Adelaide Football Club?" So I'm just going to get to the picture he tweeted out. Now, where are we, Pete? Here we go. So he says, by the numbers, is JP becoming the Crows barometer? So with James Peatling at centre bounces, Adelaide has a plus 13 clearance differential, and he's number one at the club. So Peatling, of the three of the big inclusions we had in the off-season that were walk-up starts, being Cummings and Nibler, I feel like Peeling has made the biggest impact of the show.
Yes, I would give you that.
Because in the games that we've missed him, you could tell that we've missed him. He's added another element to that midfield group, and I think now the stats are backing him in now as well. So, anything any thoughts on Pete's, mate?
It's going to be a different response.
Yeah,
because I saw him at the Crows Junior Clinic today.
Oh yes,
he's a very handsome man.
He is a handsome man. Yes.
He's got the hair. He's
envious.
He's got the piercings. He's a very handsome man.
That was not what I expected.
No, it wasn't.
You're right.
And a shout out to the Crows today. Excellent session.
Yeah.
Apple Max brilliantly. Kids running everywhere.
Harry had fun.
They had fun.
Was Keezer there?
No, he was not.
Oh, it's interesting because remember what Dylan said about a month or so ago.
We were in group 1.
Oh, okay.
So that big change. Well, big change.
Need to infiltrate. I want to know if Keezer is mingling with the fans.
But the bean counters.
Sure.
At the Crowland, if you ever want to make a profit, change your logo.
Change your logo?
Change your logo.
Again?
No. Because everyone is wearing new stuff.
Oh, okay. Sure.
All the kids have new stuff.
Yeah.
All the dads have new stuff.
So does that then go to sort of back up the point that everyone was like wanting the logo change? So as soon as it came out, everyone was like, we're on board?
Yes. I hated the old logo. I love it.
Yeah, I get it.
I love it.
I wasn't one of the haters, but I mean, I don't mind the current one.
The new one is stunning. I love it. I love the new colours.
Yeah,
I love that the girls are going to be in the same colours now.
Well, yeah, like we're all one club, mate. Like a real one club.
Well, speaking of one club, you know they don't even play their Magpie song anymore?
Really?
No.
A sample?
Yeah. They play their Port Power song.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Oh, Michael coming through with this.
I'm trying to think. What's the bloody... what's the Magpie song?
Isn't it the Sydney song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheer, cheer, the black and the white.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, cool. All right.
How do I know this?
Dude, I'm crossing myself like it didn't come to my head straight away. All right, so...
There you go.
No, I was saying, what do you think of Saligo's game?
I think it was probably from my perspective, one of his better games he's had in maybe the last 6 outings.
Mm-hmm.
I think
I agree. I don't disagree.
Probably his better one.
He got his hand on the ball more. I think his tackling was good.
You said a little how Rankine or Curtin put everyone on their back and just took their parts. I feel he put everyone on their back in that midfield area for a moment there, just dragged them along until Dawes took over.
Yeah, I mean Dawson did what Geordie up. It was good without being amazing. He had moments where he sort of moved in and out of the game like he does. He's I'm trying to get a couple of attempts at some overhead marking. Where he just steals the limelight at times. Like he's a magic player.
He's got a twin out there. Do you know that?
A twin?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Hinge.
A hinge?
They're identical with their overhead marking.
What do you think a hinge's gag? A little bit of vitriol came his way.
Yeah, but they're biased like Reed above Hinge.
I'm a Hinge fan.
Ooh.
I'm a Hinge fan.
One could say you're a Hinge fan.
Jesus Christ. All right.
No, Hinge. Simple.
Move on into some other new stuff. The immunity medal, Michael.
Oh.
I'm curious to see what the votes, because this would have been a tricky game to vote on. I've got a feeling, I feel like the 3 vote.
You need to do some talking.
I feel like let's get sorted, man. I feel like the 3 vote is pretty locked in. Because I'm pretty sure that most everybody, and it'd be well deserved, but I'm going to suggest that everybody would be giving Rankine the 3 votes. But the 2 and the 1, I reckon, is up for grabs, and I think it comes down to individual interpretation of the game.
Well, go down on it. Talk it out.
Right. Well, I can give you. Do you know your votes off the top of your head?
Yes, I do.
Do you give Rankine the 3?
Or as the official vote counter, am I allowed to say?
Well, it's your votes. I want to know what was your 3, 2, 1. So did you give Rankine the 3? Your votes, not
yes, I did.
The average.
Yes, I did.
So I gave Ben Keys 2 votes again. Mm-hmm. He was outstanding. He had something like 24 possessions, kicked 2 goals. Geez, I want to say 2 goals, 3 even. 2 goals, 3. So I had a little bit of an off day with the boot. We could argue, Melbourne fans would argue that it's 1 goal 4. But they can argue where they want. Don't give a shit. And I gave Peatley my 1 vote this week. So what did you do for your 2 and 1?
Okay.
Because I reckon this could be really open.
Okay. So I went Dawson.
Okay.
2.
Yeah. Fair.
And I went Keys 1.
Yeah, cool. Okay. No worries. Now the votes, Michael.
Yes. Okay.
How did the cards fall?
The cards fell. They collapsed in that first quarter. They were everywhere. So 1 vote.
Yes.
To Jordan Dawson.
Okay. Jordy, yep. Don't hate it.
2 votes to House Keys.
Yay.
And 3 votes to Mr. September.
Yes.
Okay. So,
yeah.
To those people who voted.
Yep.
So Simon, Adam, AJ, Elijah, your father.
Hey, Machino.
Boys, Braden, Reeves. I don't know who Reeves is.
Reeves.
You know who Reeves is?
I know who Reeves is.
Okay. And Kieran.
Hey. Is that?
So I did a little video.
Yep.
On the way to the car, like just to get the votes going.
Yeah.
I don't know if it worked. Clearly it didn't.
That's good. We got the regulars happening. We got some people voting. It's good. Keep drumming up business.
I do. It's all the talk, mate.
As soon as it's tricky because when it's at home, I've got to remember to send it out when it's fresh.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard when you're leaving the ground and not really on my phone doing that. But normally I'm sort of getting the votes out. But no, it's good. I'm loving this. This has been I look forward to this every week, Michael. And I'm doing our best to get the votes in. So thanks to everyone who continues to vote. And just start flicking it out to your mums and dads and your cousins and shit. Just let's get as many votes as possible. Right now, I got one thing I haven't touched on. Sorry, Michael, you're standing there with your jaw dropped to the ground.
No, I was going to go to segment, but you go to things you haven't touched.
Something we haven't touched. Rochelle.
No.
Now, I'm
deflating.
I know it is disappointing. And look, I'm just going to read what the club put out. Now, I'm not a physio or an orthopedic surgeon, or know much about the body.
Okay, just.
I'm going to prep it.
Can you just? I'm not a doctor.
I'm not a doctor, but scans have confirmed.
Oh, there you go. I had a great follow-up then, but you ruined the movie.
Be slow, mate. Keep up.
No, fuck you. I've watched 20 seasons of Grey's Anatomy. I could be chief by now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to operate on that young man. He'll be playing next week.
You know what? I've watched House from Woe to Go 3 times over. Is it lupus? Right, now, scans have confirmed Rochelle avoided any ligament damage. Good news. However, the 22-year-old suffered a posterior capsular tear along with a bone compression injury. Now, when it happened, I saw it from 100 meters away, between 50 and 100 meters away from where it happened, from where I was sitting. And at the time, I went, I reckon he's okay, and I reckon it's an ACL. It's one of those, but it's worse than what I thought it may have been. But having seen the replay, excellent English, his knee did hyperextend a little bit, which I didn't. I thought it was one of those ones, you know, when you land and you just jar and you get the bone bruising and it's going to hurt for you might be out for a month. But some people contacted me today that knows people who knows proper doctors, Michael. So real doctors, not Dr. House or Gray, Meredith. Real doctors.
A doctor.
Okay, Michael. And mate, is it?
She's been through enough.
She's not a doctor, bro. She is an actor. No, not she. So talk to a physio, and by the sound of it, look, hey, you're doing good, mate. Hang in there. By the sound of it, unless we sort of go into finals and potentially deep into finals, his year is potentially done.
No, he's not. He'll be back for the last game. I'm calling it.
It's a big call, Michael. Michael's big call.
Michael's big call. I'm
tweeting it out. Michael's big call. Rash back. Round 24.
Well, actually, I think he'll be back from the bye. Actually helps. So as much as I want the bye gone, thank gosh we have the bye.
Yes. But we've got some work to do before we get there, to be fair.
We do.
Now, who comes in for Rush?
Pedler.
Okay, now I actually went, because it was the curtain raise and I had a little bit of time up my sleeve, I actually went down and watched the early game. So I got there at halftime. And so admittedly I only saw the third and fourth quarter of the sample game. Lukey Pedler was amazing. Now, quite clearly we've got some players in that team that are well above their SANFL standard. Okay, now Shoal looked a bit. He looked awesome. Nuz looked great. Nuz. Shout out to Nuz. Muzz looked great. His marking in defense was brilliant. He was quite rusty with his kicking, though. He turned the ball over a little bit, but he is like a man mountain there in defense. And the SANFL team with Muzz, Borlace, who played really well as well, and imagine, like, they're taking the piss in that. That's an amazing defense.
So I want to ask you a question. Why can't they beat Sturt?
Good question. Sturt have just players all over the field, though. Sturt is a really, really good team. A really good team. So, and the Crows team, obviously, depending, and don't get me wrong, we are riding our luck with injuries this year. Okay. And so when the A's are strong, the B's are strong. Mm-hmm. So, but Sturt, and to be fair, Glenelg for that matter, they're bloody good teams.
Can't beat either.
I know. But I don't know, those guys, I don't know. I don't have a good answer to that. Our SANFL team is still, we've got a lot of young kids running through there, whereas the Sturt and the Bays are more teams of fully grown men who've won flags, like it's just different.
Okay. No, fair enough. Just a
because we've still got the likes of Charlie Edwards running through, Oscar Ryan running through, Burgess looked good, Strawny looked good actually as a pinch hitting forward playing in the ruck. McAndrew is a big unit. I can see why he's not playing AFL though yet. Dowling, he was one that snuck up on me. I didn't feel like he did a heap, but come the last quarter, he was almost leading in possessions, I reckon, and really sort of moved into the game. Nankervis did really well. There is a plethora of players that could step up and do a role. Now, it's not only Rash, I think Rash is out, so, he's going to be feet up now for a little bit. But there'd be a few other players looking over their shoulders at the moment. And I feel for Zach Taylor, but he is one. He's one. Did he kick a goal on the weekend? I'm trying to think. He definitely had a shot on goal. I can't remember if he kicked it.
No, I don't.
Did he miss?
I don't think. Okay. So you've just brought up a very good point. It's funny. It leads into mine, so you can keep going.
Go.
They need to start managing the team.
Yes, I agree.
So you've just listed off 15 blokes in the SANFL who would be playing elsewhere. I don't want to come to round what it is. I suppose 29. It's not that long yet.
Yeah.
I don't want to come to the end of the year and we've gone, oh heck.
Yeah.
We've got to go in this team. Because we haven't played anyone.
Yeah.
And if they're going to say that's because we haven't any injuries, that for mine, that is poor list management.
Yeah.
Again, for the Crows.
Yeah.
So they need to start resting players. And I don't care. Like, I'm sorry. I'm just going to pick on a number. I'm just going to pick on Tex here. It's not about Tex.
You're right.
It's the first one that comes to mind. I don't care about his. There's bigger things at play here than getting this man a 300.
Yeah.
Rest him.
Sure.
Give him a break.
Yeah.
Give O'Brien a break. And now I get some names here. Give some of the back line who are doing a brilliant job. Give them a break. Get some. Maybe not even give them a break, but get some time into some of these other blokes so you have got a squad ready to go.
Well, I think there's definitely some opportunity now because obviously Miller was a late withdrawal, and so Murphy stepped in. And look, while I'm bringing up with Murphy, I'll quickly.
Whilst you're doing that,
he I feel for Murph.
So do I. It's not his fault.
He and to go to what Dylan said, probably with Smithers as much as probably 6 or 8 weeks ago now, he looked like he's playing every game like his last, because he was on a bit of a kamikaze mission
Yes, he
on the
was.
weekend. He took out Snake and took out one of our own. So there's
Is that Murphy?
yeah.
I thought he was concussed at one point.
Yeah, well, he potentially
because his arms
he went off. Yeah, he went off. So I think he did, I'm pretty sure he went off and did get checked. But he there's a fine line between going hard at the ball and being reckless, and I think he probably treaded that line a bit on the weekend. You want to see him go hard, and you can't knock his endeavour.
Okay, cool. So I'm just thinking out loud now. So with Rochelle going down,
yeah,
you could argue a point that there is an opening for a small forward or someone to just do.
Yes.
And what I see with Murphy is he doesn't play the small forward.
No.
He's always where he's useless.
Well, my question for Murphy too was he one of those ones that was drafted as a midfielder, but it just wasn't. It just
Well,
wasn't
I can't answer that. I don't know, but he's never in the spot.
Well, he's not a natural forward, and that's why I'm asking, because, and I feel, but you know, you can make the same argument with Pedler.
Then why is he in the forward line?
But you know what though? Because that's where we're playing him, because there's not a spot in the midfield for him, so we're playing this.
Well, then he shouldn't be playing.
The other one I didn't mention too was Chase Jones. He killed it. You know, Schomburg actually did all right. Now I reckon we've moved past Harry more than likely, and I think we've moved past Chase as well. But I would like to see that. Like Lukey Pedler was amazing. Like he was BOG for me in the half that I saw. He kicked 1 or 2 goals himself, and he had 3 goal assists on his own. And I'm talking like the one thing I would say about the SNFL team, and albeit they're playing the Eagles, and the Eagles weren't much chop against this particular Crows team, but they play an unselfish brand of footy at the SNFL level. Their eyes are always up, and they're looking for players in the better positions. Even Burgess. Burgess had a bit of a tough day goal kicking wise, but he's a big unit. He's very good at SNFL level, and even he was he passed off 1 or 2, which was when he was within range of having a shot as well. So there was a few when I rocked up. Pedler set up Sholey like 15 metres straight in front with a beautiful kick over the top as he ran into space. So for me, I'm as simple as this. Rash goes out. Pedler comes in.
Okay, I'm cool.
If Miller doesn't come back in, I'm not sure what the issue was with him, but if he isn't back this week, yes, personal reasons. Yeah. So if he's not back this week, I think then this is a really good opportunity that you could bring in a Charlie Edwards. He didn't set the world on fire though on the weekend, to be fair.
No.
We got Hugh Bond in the SNFL. Speaking of like good-looking fellas, he is a specimen. He is a specimen, Hugh Bond. You know, so there's Bonding on the adder. Like, there's a number of players. I'm still waiting for Billy Dowling. When is he going to get his chance? You know, so there's a number of names there that could fill that void. And I think for me, I feel like you could have 3 players make way this week, because Rash is enforced, and you could say Taylor and Murphy are both outs, and then you've got 3 players to play with there.
So this is an interesting game this week. But the text line is open.
Yes.
Otherwise, I'll forget.
No, hit me. Well, not literally.
Yeah. It's okay. We're not doctors. Okay, so this is from Elijah. A solid win after being that far behind. Melbourne has a veteran midfield and a back line that it was pretty much great to match them through the centre.
Yep.
Especially when you're up against Pickett, Petrarca, Oliver, Gawn and Varney. I'd like to see Pedler come in for Rush and Nank, Draper or Dowling as a sub over Murphy next week.
Yep. Couldn't agree more.
And then he also follows up with does anyone want to check in on Jonathan Brown to see if he's still sooking over the Ben Keys goal on the line?
Well, was he cracking the shits?
He's cracked the shits big time.
Oh, interesting. I'm disappointed in that. I love Brownie.
Well, I don't know how he saw it because he wasn't at the venue.
Oh, yeah, no, but they're all experts.
Because they were calling from Melbourne. Big game this week for the Crowies. And I'm almost in 2 minds about how I want to go with it. Because it's heavily in the doggies' favour.
Oh yeah, I think this is one that I don't know if we talked about. No, we penciled this one down as a.
This is a definite loss of mine.
Yeah.
So this one,
not the attitude we want to go
no,
with.
No, like.
But when we did it, this is the one we put down.
This is BP Crow coming out here now.
Yeah.
I'm very much.
You embrace that.
Thank you. I'm very much going in. I'm not going into. Oh, that's so stupid. I'm not putting all my chips out.
Sure.
I'm
You're not going all in,
I'm not going all in.
No.
I'm holding something back because there are bigger wins to come
Sure.
than this one.
It'd be nice though.
It will. Hang on. Rest some people. I've been saying it for a while. Maybe this isn't the one to rest Tex because I'm okay. But actually playing him on Marvel, it is a better deck than it was.
Yeah, the Gabbers where you don't want to play, clearly.
But it is still concrete. I don't know.
Can I counter?
Counter?
I don't want to flirt with form too much though, because we've got a tough 6-week period, and wins are still going to be important. So, slight tangent just for a moment, if I may.
Love a tangent. I've been known to go on.
Swampy put some stats out during the week, and I've got one here. So it's the first time in the 18-team era that there's been a three-game gap separating top and bottom halves of the ladder. So what that means is we are sitting third on the ladder, but we are one game from ninth.
Yes, I know.
One game and a shitload of percentage.
Yeah.
So it's actually still really important that we keep winning because we don't know, because there aren't too many teams that are going to challenge, I feel. I think Sydney's probably the one real challenger outside.
No, I think she's done.
I still think they're the one, but of all the teams below, I reckon they're the ones that could.
Agree. But it's
so we want to keep winning, and the good thing is we're playing teams around us, and it's funny because one of my mates, who's a massive Port fan, had a skinful and started running his mouth on Saturday night about how shit we were, and he's went through and I'm keeping receipts. I've got the list of things that he put out there, and he's saying about we'll lose to Port and blah blah blah, and he's basically got his missing finals, and I was like, okay mate, all good, just gave him the thumbs up. Yep, no worries. But so I whilst I don't disagree with the fact you're saying we need to rest Tex, and I think he probably should get another rest if he needs it. You don't want to flirt with your form too much either. I've liked the fact that when we've been in positions where come almost half time, they're looking to make that change when the game's in hand and
Okay, yeah,
they've pulled veterans. They pulled Rash himself not that long ago because he was a bit sore. I think they've been a lot smarter with the sub in that sort of sense. I don't know that we can do it against your top echelon teams, which is really, because we've got Dogs. That's going to be a tough ask. Then we back that up against Gold Coast. I'm not resting. That's a grudge match for me. I'm not resting anyone. So then we've got Port. We're not resting anyone. Then we've got Hawthorn, and I'm not resting anyone for Hawthorn either. Then we've got West Coast. We can do a Ross Lyon, mate, and just play the SANFL team, because then we back that up, because that's West Coast away, and then we back that up with Collingwood home, and then North Melbourne West. So I don't know there's actually too many opportunities to really rest too many players.
No, but you can manage. You've got a period there. So if you are in a position where you can manage one a week.
Yeah.
So I'm not talking about wholesale.
No, I know.
But you need. And it's not also not change it from resting to bringing in other people.
Yeah, sure.
And
this is the tricky part.
We've talked about it before. Yeah. When was it when we got to the end of the year and we just had no one that we couldn't play?
Because I don't disagree with that either, with what you're saying. We don't want to get to round 23, 24, and we've just been hit with a bunch of injuries, whether they be short or long, and suddenly we're playing these people from the SNFL
for their first game.
Because the step up in pace, it's huge. From SNFL, it was a huge step. And you're going to look at some of the players we've got in the SNFL that clearly are excellent SNFL players, and just for whatever reason can't quite crack at AFL level. I don't disagree. It's just tricky, and I don't want to flirt with form too much, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay, that's valid.
Okay. Now the 22 under 22 came out during the week, Michael. I flipped it to you and Dylan and said, here's a bit of content. Now I've got the team here, so really quickly, there is a name I feel that is missing. A huge name that is missing for me. There were two Crows in the team, Josh Shelley and Daniel Curtin. So Josh Shelley in the forward pocket, Daniel Curtin on the wing. No Max Michael.
I was going to say Maxie.
And I'm certain he is still Under 22.
Has to be. 'Cause I'm pretty sure he was drafted after Rochelle.
So, where is he? I'm just double checking now as we check. He's 21 years old, and his birthday was the 26th of February. So he's still. But now, I've got a feeling he was in the team last year, though. So is it the fact that he's been in one, so they're like, oh, let's give the likes of a Humphreys a go, or a Weddle. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand how he's not. He's one of the best defenders in the league. How's he not in the team?
Doesn't fit a narrative.
Perhaps. I mean, fuck, they've got Ollie Dempsey on the other wing. Like, anyway, there's actually one surprise one. Paul Curtis. I didn't realise he was that young. The Kangaroos forward. He's having a killer season.
He's having a
killer season. But there's some good names in this team, though. How's this for the followers? They put Sam Dowsey in ruck, Dacos and Finn Callahan are the starting followers. Not bad.
You just stretch your argument in the foot there because Dacos has been in it before.
No, I know, but the several players have been in it before.
So there we go.
They're saying they're looking at it going, like, how's it? I mean, did he miss out? I just don't get it because when I look at so the defenders they've got there is Wanganeen Miller, like absolutely. Mac Andrew, can't wait for the grudge match. Jasper Fletcher, much better season this year. Lawson Humphreys, excellent John defender. Connor O'Sullivan, he's come out of nowhere. He's a really good
there's a stat on the screen now that Maxi is yet to be outmarked.
Yeah, right.
In 25.
And then you've got Josh Weddle and the other. So the defense is good, but I think they've made an error on missing out on Max, in my opinion. Now the other thing I wanted to bring up, Michael, did you see the young power midfielder Hugh Jackson? Did you see him drop the knee into?
How that prick didn't get a week, and is beyond me. And it's the whole league on this is just pathetic.
Yeah.
So they were almost mockingly laughing at themselves last year about the number of fines that they'd given Butters. Like, they were laughing about it.
Yeah.
Don't laugh. Suspend him.
Yeah.
He's clearly done, not Butters, but this, what his name was?
Hugh Jackson.
Hugh Jackson has put his knee into this bloke's ribs and didn't even do anything.
Hang on a minute. Hugh Jackson is the Wolverine actor, isn't it?
No, it's Hugh Jackman.
Oh, Hugh Jackman. Okay, good. I've got it right there. Because in my head, I went, oh, shit, let's suck this up. Because the joke is they're calling him Wolverine, but that's not even his nickname. So, with all due respect, couldn't happen to a better bloke because Zorko's a flog and he likes to pick on young kids. So it's nice that a young kid got one back at him. But how is it not a week? Like, he's dead set, it's almost like he's just trying to drop a cork.
Mm-hmm.
He's just kneed him straight into his chest. Had to go for that. You can't do that. That's a joke on the AFLs.
Yeah, but
side.
Yeah, it just doesn't matter because it's just stupid. The whole AFL's stupid.
And I've got one more question for you. Oh, yeah, go on.
No, you go.
Finish your thought.
No, that's all good.
Because I was going to go something completely different.
No, you go.
All right, because I've got one last thing, and this is just a thought that popped into my head. It's one of those brain fart moments. I'm sitting in the Oval. Now we've got all the screens now behind the goals that are electronic.
Yes.
Why can't we, for our home games, put like a target up that comes up, so where it lines up the player behind goals? They've got when you're because whenever you'd have a shot for goal, right, and your dad will say, just pick someone out in the crowd and give it to that person. Why don't we put a great big fucking target up that just pops up when we're having a shot for goal, and it's like give the footballers a target to hit? Why couldn't we do that? Or the AFL crack the shits about that too and say pull it down because it's too much of an unfair advantage.
Where would you put it?
Oh, like literally, it would just appear on instead of saying, Drake's or whatever else the sponsors are, where it's got the sponsors, can't we just put like a target that lines up where the bloke's just up on the middle of the goal?
They had one at Footy Park.
That'd be because, every now and then you've got like the people in the crowd, they're holding out the sheep, the big target going,
There was one at Footy Park.
Yeah,
really? With the Matani chicken salt sign.
Just
target on it.
Yeah, I reckon that there's an opportunity there to whack your company logo in the middle of the bullseye or something and get a target up there for us to kick into. But I don't know, it's a bit of a thought. Now, Michael, I've got I'm just down on my Twitterverse, mate. So is there anything else that and it's a bump one tonight. It's a bump one.
Okay. Well,
is there anything we need to hit before?
Yes. Yes, there is.
Okay, cool. It is funny that you did that, Michael, because the whole purpose of me bringing Swampy's stat was that it kind of has made the Sharpie a bit null and void this year.
No.
So I was going to put it to you with whatever we got to go. Can we bring out the Sharpie? And you've done it. You've done what I asked.
The Sharpie is out.
All right, let's hear the Sharpie.
Issues with the AFL app.
I constantly have issues with the AFL.
Like, it always takes twice to load.
Yeah.
See, now I've got to load it again. And on the second time it loads. Okay, there is a Sharpie out.
Excellent, let's hear it.
There's a Sharpie out. And there is a Sharpie through Fremantle.
Okay. Now, this is interesting. Now, they're currently sitting, well,
9th.
They're 9th. But there is how many games between them and Sydney? That's the 3 game. So they're currently sitting 9th, aren't they?
Yeah.
And they are 3 games ahead of Sydney.
Yeah.
And they are percentage out of the E8. They're a percentage away from 6th on the ladder.
Yeah. But I really want Freo to make it because I want Gold Coast not to make it. Because I had Gold Coast not making it in the opening rounds.
I saw it when I went to the bathroom before.
And it's still there.
Mm-hmm. Cold Coast is what you call them.
Cold Coast.
It would be now. There is no chance in hell the AFL is going to allow their Nepo baby to not make the finals this year.
Well, they've got Collingwood this week,
and then they're going to have us.
So they could lose 2 in a row.
They could. They've actually had a bit of a dry spell. I reckon they won last week, did they? But it was like first in 5 or something.
And then Freo have Hawthorn in WA.
Ooh, it's a tough game.
And then they have Collingwood away. Okay, so the Suns are staying in for the time being.
They are. Yeah, Freo got a tricky run. Got a tricky run. All right, well, I'm pleased to hear that the Sharpie has come out. Michael's looked at that list. Anyone else? I mean, apart from the obvious.
No, that's it.
Okay. All right,
for now.
Now,
hang on.
Sorry.
What are you doing?
Unrestricted free agents.
Is that your Twitter button?
No, it's not. Just before you hit the button, there's one thing I've got now. I saw an image come out during the week, and this is our unrestricted free agents at the moment. So we've got Burgess, Matty Crouch, Lachlan McAndrew, Wayne Miller, Lockie Murphy, Rob, Schonberg, Smithers, and Tex. Now, 9 names there, Michael. You can only pick 5. Who are you keeping?
To keep.
Yeah. Who are you keeping? So I'll give those names again while you haven't.
Okay, that's okay. I'm keeping O'Brien.
Okay, so Rob's in.
Better the devil, you know.
I'm definitely, and I'm standing by. I'm going to die on this hill. I would much rather Rob over Draper. I'm not interested in Draper.
No, I don't think we're getting Draper. I think they're looking into that Royal Marshall, who's the same age.
Yeah, dumb.
So it's dumb.
Yeah,
I actually want.
Good ruckman though.
I want that tail of from North Melbourne.
Tyler Goad.
Yeah, Tyler Goad.
Yeah.
Oh. See, you've asked the wrong person.
Why?
Because I'm not keeping 5.
Oh, okay. Well, then if you can have, I said you can keep 5. I didn't say you had to pick 5.
So I'm going to flip this around.
Yeah.
Burgess.
Yep.
No.
Okay.
Matty Crouch. You're staying, but you're playing Sample and in break glass in case of emergency.
Okay.
Doesn't matter because they're all signed. Murphy. Thank you.
Oh, so there's 2 that are signed. Oh, okay.
Yeah, in the yellow writing.
Oh, that's
McAndrew and Wayne Miller.
Then you can't have 5. You can have 4. But I'm actually pleased that McAndrew's signed, obviously, and Miller is signed.
Murphy I'm getting rid of.
Yep.
O'Brien I'm keeping.
Yep.
Schonberg, I think it's up anyway.
I think so.
Brodie Smith is done.
Yeah.
And Mr. Walker. It's a conversation. I think you've got to see how the rest of the year plays out.
Don't disagree. So at this stage then, Crouch and Rob. You said Crouch is you're keeping him as a break glass, and you're keeping Rob, and obviously McAndrew and Miller are kept anyway. So I stuffed that up a little bit. All right, no, that's fair. I don't mind it. I'm keeping, provided his body is sound and he's got the mentality to go through with it. I'm keeping Tex as well.
You could arguably say that about Smith as well.
Yeah, he's done well.
I think you could put
his job.
Smith and Walker in the same basket.
Yeah, I feel like we got more Smithers than we do Texas. As long as both players aren't holding up development, that'd be my thing, I suppose. All right, ready when you are, man, to hit it, because like I said, I've got a bumper Twitterverse tonight. Now, that's a bloody good little app you got there, Mike.
Thank you.
Feel for Murph is where we're starting. So this is Campbell. Cam Hart's back. He goes, I feel for Murph. The game he loves is ruined because everything he does gets scrutinised and critiqued more than any other Crow. He doesn't pick himself. I hope he looks back on his career when it's over with fondness and it's not tainted too much from the abuse he cops online. I agree with you, Campbell. And it's tricky because I've been saying for years that in order for the Crows to be serious, they need to move past the likes of the Murphys and the McHenrys of the world. So I've always been vocal about that. But I don't hate Lockie Murphy. I think it's quite sad that the club is having to put out posts online saying footballers are real people too.
Yeah, that's fair.
Don't be jerks. I hope that he does. He's played 100 games of AFL. That's amazing. But honestly, that is amazing. And so I hope he does look back in his career with fondness because he's done something that he should really be proud of. That achievement. And I hope it hasn't been too tainted by all the keyboard warriors online.
Can I counteract?
Please.
He will go down in folklore because without him hurting his neck, and it will be great because who knows what that trainer whispered into his head.
Yeah. When Dawson took the ball.
We're just assuming that he had a broken neck. Like I'm not taking the piss here. It is folklore.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
without him, putting his head over the ball, to get to the ball, there's no Dawson kicking that goal.
True, and no Titanic music, Michael. It is an interesting one because I think he's the most maligned Crow since David McKay. On the flip,
who replaces him?
Oh, I'm sure we'll find somebody, Michael.
Okay.
Justin K. So at Justin_K000. Frustrating performance. Fair few guys a bit down today, so relied on a few to carry us. On the flip side, I think I saw that it was our biggest come from behind win under Nicks.
Yes, it was.
So maybe that is something pretty positive to take since in recent years we'd fight back. To go down small. I get lost in that last bit. Now, I've got another tweet coming up about this. I can explain it to you. Okay, give me.
You fight back.
Yeah.
And then lose by a short margin.
To go down small. Oh, okay, sure. Okay, now that makes sense. I've got another tweet coming up that has the margin, but basically it's because at one point we were 28 points down.
Oh, no, I wasn't there.
And shut up.
And, I wasn't there.
So we were 28 points down, and it was looking pretty grim. We were 1 goal 6 to whatever they had at, and then before we flicked that switch. So I think it was the first time that we came back from 4 goals down to win a game under Nicks.
Oh. So isn't that nice for the Titanic be putting off fireworks? Let's just keep going.
Isaac and finals.
True story.
Miller FC. Really looking forward to the day Isaac plays finals football, Michael. Suspect he's got some special stuff ready for us.
I'm not jinxing nothing. I know what you're trying to do here. I'm not taking the bait.
Cheat code, baby. Our friend across the pond, the rather large pond, Beltway's back. Curtin is a cheat code. What a star. I love that. He is going to be a cheat code. He's going to be amazing. Umpire 26. Now, I didn't touch on the umpiring.
Let's not.
So let's not. At Reese, at Sensu Bean. So Reese is back. Umpire 26 needs to be investigated. Blatant cheating. Some interesting decisions on the weekend, Michael, and we can move on.
No, because I want to talk about one now.
Oh, okay, let's hear it.
They got the rush behinds mixed up.
What do you mean? Oh, I didn't want to. Actually, I can't even believe I didn't even bring that in.
So the one that they did pay, that wasn't rushed.
No,
but the one down at our end, in the last quarter,
third quarter,
must have been the third quarter because
that was when we were heading to the.
Yeah, it was. He just stepped. Again, I lost my shit at that moment, and I did. I was an angry man on Sunday. I got quite the old vocal as you can still hear.
Yeah.
I'm getting ready for the games.
All right. Good. Now, this is Russell. So, at Russell_183. I know he's a whipping boy, but Miller is our best ball user out of defense. Missing him a lot today. What are your thoughts on that?
Yes, he's a bit of the general about it. A bit of the general, just steady head.
I think it's nice that he's strung some games together because his whole career has been tarnished by long injuries too. So it's nice that he's keeping his feet on the ground and stringing a few games together. And this is the sad part because his career has kind of been, well, it's been constantly interrupted, but it's kind of ruined probably his career a bit because he had the potential from the get-go. And he was always, his foot skills were good, and he would dance on a dime. It just couldn't string games together. And I feel like now, again, finally, he's hopefully he's getting some longevity in his body. So yeah, let's keep it going. Are we legit? Vardy's back. So at Vardy Magic, get around him on Twitter. He's awesome. Feel like that was the type of game we would have dropped in previous seasons. Being able to respond like we did is the mark of a legitimate team. Great to make another 4 points and already equal our best season in the next era, which is 11, with 7 games to go. That's impressive. That's impressive. Record win. We're back. Now, this is Paul. So at pbaird2587. Best come from behind win in the next era. Another step forward in our evolution. And I agree because Michael, the number of times we talk, because it's funny because I messaged out to a few people key learnings when this is in response to this sort of stuff because it is another step forward in the evolution of the team. We have been quite vocal in enough of the bullshit and key learnings. They are, Michael, are you happy? They are. Looks like we're taking steps in the right direction.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm happy. I'll be happy. I could always be happy.
Fog the Bear. Now, Campbell's back. I feel like the Fog has woken up from his month-long hibernation, which goes to what you said earlier, Michael. We were talking about it. Actually, he has been a bit MIA, let's be honest. Definitely, Cam, we fully agree. He had a good game on the weekend. He contributed well, is what I would say. I think someone did respond to that particular tweet maybe with he had like 0 possessions in the second quarter, but around that I think he did his job well and truly.
Do you know what would be good? If Fogarty grew a beard, like Phil thought.
I don't know if that would be good. I
It'd be nicely manicured. You could just call them the Beard Boys. Think of how many defenders they scare. Just by the sheer.
He's got piercing blue eyes too, Fog. It'd be interesting. A lot of bro love on this podcast tonight. We're talking about good-looking people. Now I'm talking about piercing blue eyes. Jesus Christ. What's this one here, Michael? Oh, shit. And then I just go and drop it all. Okay, worst rule. This is Johnny. So JBabs84 is back. The stand rule has to be the worst rule in football. I feel like it's one of the dumbest rules that we've got in football. And again, open to an interpretation of how it's managed by the umpires. What are your thoughts, Michael? Dumbest rule in football?
Oh, sorry.
You're just staring at me. I'm like, what's going on
here?
here?
The question was more of a statement.
Dumbest rule in football?
Yes.
Okay.
Up there with the deliberate rush behind. Yeah. That's Richmond's fault that's in. Or was it Essendon? Oh, which one was it?
Richmond was the rush behind one.
And they just kept stepping back?
Yep.
Okay.
Hashtag improvement. Say Shank is back. That was not a complete performance or our best game this year, but we just take the win and move on. These are the types of games we would lose in previous years, so being able to keep the lead is a huge positive. Still a lot of mistakes that need to be rectified come September, though. Agreed. Yeah. Give him some credit. All right. This is Ben Radio, so at Treeman85. Tree trimmer. Trims trees. Week 1. First time ever under Nix we've come from 24 points down.
There's a thread. Yeah.
Credit where credit is due, Michael. There is a bit of a thread. All right, now. Crowvid Listener of the Week.
Was it me?
It was not you. Actually, I don't think I saw you too many tweets this week. But it's someone who's regularly on, Sam Crow. Sam Crow won it this week with this particular tweet. So get around him at Sam Crow WL Original. Hinge's decision making is about as good as Tyson Stengel and Brad Crouch's at 2 a.m. at the moment. And my premise to this tweet was nothing good happens after 2 a.m. So Sam Crow, we know you're being facetious, mate, but because you so eloquently put it, you are the Crowvid One listener of the week. Get around him, Michael. That's a quality tweet.
That is a quality tweet.
Allegedly, which sort of allegedly after 2 a.m. Boys. Okay, Michael. This weekend.
Yes. Okay. This is a very big weekend for Michael. Because I have identified.
Okay.
Now, as much as I banged on about there are bigger things at play than this game.
Yeah.
If they win this game, the lid is off.
Okay.
It is off. It is off. And you can sigh, you can look, you can do whatever you want.
I think Dylan will join you, to be honest.
And good. Because you know what?
It'll be 2 versus 1.
There are people calling for this. They're saying, Michael, when's it happening? Michael,
I know.
Michael, take the lid off. Michael, do it.
And he talked about it when he was on the podcast with us.
It is time.
Okay, so
it is time. And the last time I said this, they lost.
They did. So are you putting them up? Are you the problem, Michael?
It could be me. I am the problem. Oh.
Is your lid the problem?
No.
That you keep wanting to blow?
The lid. Please.
A lid?
Yes.
Of course.
The lid is desperate. It is time. This is their test. This is it. They've only got one game at Marvel this year. It's weird to think that we wouldn't have had a game at Marvel. The Bulldogs we historically played very poorly in Melbourne against the Doggies. So this is it. This is Michael's lid moment.
Okay.
Please don't fuck it up, Crowies, because I've got so much content.
All right. So the last time we played the Bulldogs, it was at home, but
we commenced. Yes, but go back to the last time we played them in Melbourne.
Here we go. More matches. Here we go. So the last time we played them in Melbourne was around 10-23, and they won by 45. Then we beat them by 1 point in round 6 in 2022. Then they beat us by 49 points, round 20 in 2021. We appear to play them once a year, every year. And then they also beat us by 57 points. Yeah, it's not happy reading. It's flogging. We win by a point. Flogging, we won by 39 points, albeit that one was at home. So not a happy stomping ground for us, playing the Doggies away. It is going to be a tough game. And I think, I don't want to be a dick, but I probably would tip the Bulldogs, but hope that we win. Michael?
So my sentiment stands then. If we win, or when we win, lid is off.
Well, I'm never buying in on this lid.
You can't hold me back anymore.
But you told me at the start of the
I know, and you've done very well. We're at round 18. And you've kept me. Admittedly, I've been very grounded myself.
You have been grounded. You've had a couple of moments where you've teetered.
I've teetered, yes,
yeah,
very much so. And then
I've shut that shit down.
Yes, I was like Rose holding on to Jack.
Oh my God.
Let go. Disappointed, frozen. You could say, lying on the bottom of the Atlantic. But no, if they win, it is time. Please, Crows.
Thursday night, Michael, in what is an absolute blockbuster. Because the mighty Carlton Blues are taking on the Brisbane Lions.
Everyone's...
What was Brisbane doing? Do you reckon they just did enough? They just needed what they needed to do against Port. I do. Do you wonder if Port didn't have all the injuries they had, they could have actually taken that game too, Brisbane? Yeah, they were literally down to one person on the bench.
Would have done the Crows a massive favour.
Yeah, interesting. Anyway, Brisbane by how much? 10 plus?
I was going to say 119. Where is it? Marvel. No, I've picked.
Because Carlton's not going to do it.
Sorry, I've picked Brisbane by 8.
8 points.
8 points.
Jesus.
You just gotta. Carlton can't be that shit
They're playing the second team in the ladder.
All year.
Second place team in the ladder.
Take that away. Take that away.
Did you see how they played against?
Yeah, I know that. So take that away.
Did you see how they played against Port the week before?
Just stop.
Did you
just stop? Or I'll mute you. There can't be that. You can't be that shit all year for no reason.
Patrick Cripps says, "Hold my beer."
Okay. Well,
and I'm not picking on Cripps.
No, and just I've picked Brisbane.
Yeah,
but you never know.
Your hope. You're living in hope. I love that about
you. No. I've got no. I just no. I'm just trying to give you some hope.
Oh, I don't have any hope.
Okay.
I know exactly where the Blues are at the moment. You understand? I've been following Carlton now since I was probably 15 years old. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's 30 years. That's 30 years of pain.
Matt did ask why you were Carlton.
Yes, Stephen Silvani. Stephen Silvani is the reason. I was a fullback growing up. He was the fullback growing up, so I gravitated towards him. I remember watching Carlton games at my uncle's house when I was at Uncle Gary's, and he'd talk about Stephen Kernan. There was a lot of South Australians, I think, that played for the Carlton Football Club too. Plus, Wogs, so it's kind of, that was the Italian team as well. Mm-hmm. There's a number of reasons, but Stephen Silvani is the main one. He was my favourite player growing up. So it is kind of nice that I've got to see another Sauce play in the number one. All right. Friday night game. Great game. Gold Coast versus Collingwood at up in Gold Coast. Mm-hmm. Pies for me, obviously.
Yeah, pies for mine.
Now, the Saturday afternoon game, the mid-afternoon game, we have Giants versus... It's really good. After the last game...
We're missing the Crows this one, aren't we?
Oh, we talked about the Crows, did we not?
We didn't put our tips in, though.
Oh, I did. I said I'm tipping Bulldogs.
Okay.
But I'm hoping the Crows will win.
Okay. I've tipped the Crows.
How much have you tipped them by? Oh, yeah, there's no margin, is there? What do you think? What do you honestly think?
Mine says Crows by 11.
Right.
But just looking at our strengths compared to their strengths, our weaknesses and their weaknesses, they're all opposite. So their weakness is their defence.
Yes.
Their
strength is there.
Yeah.
They're mid and they're mids and
so
Sam Darcy. So who goes to Sam Darcy?
I put Butts.
You go Butts, would you?
Yeah, go Butts.
I think I start Keane. And if he gets towed up early, you move Butts onto him. Yeah. But I think Keane's got a little bit of extra height than Butts.
So there's a couple of things I want to see this week. It's under the roof.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Tex having shot, like turning around on his circle from 55 out.
Sure.
I don't want to see that anymore. Because he doesn't, we've had this argument, he doesn't make it. He's got to be a bit more smarter.
Sure.
Okay, it's under the roof. Go back and have a set shot. If it's from 40 to 45 out, go back. I don't want to see you playing on like Aaliyah, like he did with Aaliyah style anymore. I think you need to move on from that. Understand your constraints and what he's got left in him. Don't give the ball back.
I mean, Tex had to take advantage of that. Aaliyah was pretty much.
Yeah, that was fine. Yeah, that was fine. But that's 2 years ago.
Okay, yeah.
And when he wasn't missing.
Yeah. He's definitely lost a bit of length in his kick. Yeah.
And what I'm saying is, I don't want to see that.
Sure.
Can't be given the ball back.
Yeah. We need to take our chances this week.
Exactly. And him doing that is potentially you're just gifting it back.
Yeah. Because if we're going to go about our business missing easy shots on goal this week, we may as well not even rock up.
No.
Because Bulldogs will punish us. I guess the question is, who does Max go to? Does Max play a negating role up forward or down back? Interesting team, Bulldogs. Ed Richards has been tagged recently.
Our strengths are their significant weaknesses. So you need to be peppering the goals all the time and taking those. You've just got to put your foot down. So that's what I'm saying with my heart. Maybe Crows by 25 plus.
Okay. I like it. I hope you're right.
It's a very long-winded argument.
That's all right. So mid-afternoon game, Giants versus Geelong at West Sydney. Can the Giants get this one done? Geelong's due, aren't they?
Giants. I've picked Giants.
Yeah. I've got a soft spot for the Giants, and I can't stand the Cats, so I'm going to go Giants too. I just reckon maybe they're due. I don't know. Richmond versus Essendon. Essendon will finally get a win.
Yes, well,
they'll get a win surely.
They're pretty injury depleted.
Essendon,
like
so is Richmond.
Maybe the Richmond kids are better.
Their best kid just did his hamstring again.
I've picked Essendon.
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me.
And Essendon's starting to get a few players back too from injury, so there's a few guys who'd be better for a run from last week.
Just don't know.
Another great game, Fremantle and Hawthorn, Optus Stadium.
Fremantle?
Yeah, I'm taking Hawks. Taking the Hawks. They're a good side. They're a good side. Wouldn't surprise me if Fremantle do get up. It is on the betting. It is like basically 50-50. Melbourne versus North Melbourne.
I ummed and ahed about this a lot. I've gone North. I've gone Melbourne.
I'm going Melbourne too. I think North are a bit cooked at the moment.
I really, really, really wanted to pick North.
I think if Lucky definitely doesn't play, then I think Melbourne do it in a canter. Geez, Cossey's good though, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, he tore us a new arsehole at different times on the weekend. St Kilda versus Sydney at Marvel.
I went for St Kilda.
Yep, I will be going for Sydney. Do not trust St Kilda one bit. And then the last game of the round is Port are hosting West Coast Eagles at Adelaide Oval.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah, Port will win that.
Port will win that, and they'll win it comfortably.
Yeah.
But just for shits and gigs.
Yeah.
I'd love to see West Coast win.
It would be nice.
It's not going to happen.
Doubt it. All right, Michael, this has ended up being a bumper episode, I think, in the end. But I think we've probably said all that needs to be said.
That is it.
Yeah. So get around us on the socials. Check out all the cool stuff Michael keeps putting out on TikTok and Insta.
Yes.
He's working hard on that. He's coming up with some new images as well.
Yes.
Okay. I poked the bear and said, hey, what about this? And then what about, hey, where's his face mask? And you gave me a bit of an FU back by putting the face mask in a different spot. So I enjoyed that. That was good. So keep an eye out for that.
I thought that was quite clever.
It was it was very clever. So, yeah, no, and the Hey Elvis thing is starting to trend.
It is.
It too. So, so get around. Just Jesus Christ. All right, Michael. Well, all eyes now onto Marvel Stadium on Saturday for a huge game for the boys. And let's get that infection spreading.
Easy.
All right, take us out, Harry.
Go Cloys! You know what?
Fatal.